Suspected ritualist den uncovered in Lagos. South African President Jacob Zuma survives no confidence vote. In sport, few hours of 2017 ITTF Nigeria Open, Funkel Shinaike laments poor welfare as Aruna Thanks for joining us on the news. I am Nifemi Oguntoye. We'll begin in Lagos, where the Minister of Transportation, Rotimi Amechi, says the federal government would ensure the completion of the ongoing Lagos-Ibadan standard gauge rail services by December 2018. Amechi gave the assurance in Lagos while inspecting the ongoing Lagos-Ibadan rail line construction. The minister said that the federal government was making all efforts to ensure the completion of the project as scheduled.
The engineers will go out and work out the details, and all parties will benefit from it. Both those road users and those who use the rail.
The minister is confident the government would deliver on its promise of an efficient rail service system between Lagos and Ibadan within the projected time frame of December 2018.
We are creating jobs, we are being able to through this process. Government's intention is to ensure that all state capitals are covered. Nigerians will be happy to use this not only for passenger services but also for freight services.
Meanwhile, the federal government has announced plans to restructure and modernize the Nigerian Postal Service Agency, NIPOST, after decades of abandonment. Minister of Communications Barrister Adebayo Shitu said this while calling on National Assembly to expedite action in passing the Postal Reform Bill and other related bills pending before the legislators. The minister said this while speaking during the launch of two booklets, NIPOST Vision 2020 and Restructuring and Modernizing Nigerian Postal Service.
This situation has led the federal government through the Minister of Communications to conduct extensive intellectual exercises, peer reviews, and consultations in fashioning out the best means of attaining sustained viability and socioeconomic relevance of NIPOST.
The Communications Minister explained the planned restructuring to include inviting private companies and individuals to buy into NIPOST properties.
NIPOST Property and Development Company Limited to take over the profitable management of all NIPOST properties nationwide, particularly unused land, pieces of land in various locations across the country.
Meanwhile, the Postmaster General says NIPOST is encouraged by the zeal of President Muhammadu Buhari-led administration towards implementation of the Postal Services Reform Program.
NIPOST are very much encouraged by the zeal and commitment of the President Muhammadu Buhari's administration towards the implementation of the Postal Sector Reform Program as demonstrated by the Honorable Minister of Communications at this event and even before now.
Moving on now to the Green Chambers, where the House of Representatives Committee on Public Accounts, as on Tuesday, summoned the Accounting Officer of Tertiary Education Trust Fund, Tech Fund, Abdullahi BG, and the Executive Secretary, Presidential Committee on Northeast Initiative, PCNAI, General Theophilus Danjuma, to appear before the committee next week, Tuesday. Also, the committee directed the Federal Inland Revenue Service, FRS, to furnish aid of all VAT receipts collected between 2009 and 2010 by the Ministry of Communication Technology. This is to enable the committee verify 4 queries raised by the AUGF office over VAT charged by the ministry and all the companies charged for their location of spectrum licenses. Members insist that agencies that fail to appear should be made to face the full wrath of the law via the provisions of Section 88 and 89 of the 1999 Constitution as amended.
Hereby order a summons to be issued against the Presidential Committee on Northeast and Tertiary Education Trust Fund, TED Fund, to appear before this committee unfailingly by 10 a.m. on Tuesday, the 15th day of August, 2017.
If the public becomes aware of the seriousness of the issues that they are supposed to give explanation, that they are refusing to come to give explanation. It's not just these ones that have been listed. Several times we have come here and MDS will not show up.
In a submission, Minister of Information Permanent Secretary Hussein Daya says it's difficult for him to answer questions concerning VAT payments and spectrum allocation to companies.
Payment is made directly to those accounts. 13, apart from this query, I did not know anything about frequency license.
Why I'm asking is this.
To security issues now, the Chief of Air Staff, Air Marshal Sadiq Abubakar, says apart from the fight against insurgency in the northeastern part of the country, the Nigerian Air Force is fully committed to other security agencies to curb the rate of kidnapping, pipeline vandalism, and crude oil theft bedeviling Nigeria. Abubakar disclosed this during the operational visit to the officers and men of the Nigerian Air Force in Yola, the Adamawa state capital.
We are, like I said, we are working around the clock. We want to assure Nigerians that we are doing everything humanly possible to ensure that Nigeria is secure and Nigerians are secure.
He added that the Nigerian Air Force is embarking on the training of personnel which will help in developing the capacity to fight under all types of terrains and weather conditions. Sadiq urged the officers and men of the Nigerian Air Force to continue to put in their best as President Muhammadu Buhari is doing everything possible to support them at all cost.
There is improvement despite these unfortunate setbacks that we have recorded in the last few weeks compared to what the situation was in the past, where we have made substantial progress. Boko Haram as an organized fighting group.
In an effort to curb smuggling in the country, the Nigerian Customs Service has announced the seizure of 425 liters of jerrycans containing petroleum products and some hard drugs. Customs Area Controller Adamawa Taraba Command Francis Adetoye says despite the challenges of the porous borders, the reinvigorated anti-smuggling operations of the command has succeeded in suppressing smuggling to its barest minimum.
The table of revenue figure we have provided, that the revenue generated increased substantially from June. Even as we had water, we want to generate, we don't only collect, we generate, we work for it.
Receiving the seized items, Deputy Commander of the Nigeria Security and Civil Defense Corps NSCDC, Ibrahim Musa, as well as the National Agency for Food and Drug Administration and Control NAFDAC, Jame Audu, applauded the efforts of the Customs Service.
Having understood that we are children of the same father, charged with our various mandates to deal with it, to call us as part of our duty to take over.
This has shown the true nature of what is called synergy between the government agencies operating in Adamawa and Taraba states.
Now let's take you back to Lagos, where there was pandemonium at Obade-Iyajala, Ijaye, along the Lagos-Abeokuta Expressway, following the discovery of a suspected kidnapper's den around the canal in the area. An abandoned house near the canal was also reportedly used as a hideout by the suspects. The crowd laid siege on the hideouts around 7 on Tuesday morning after a highway sweeper with the Lagos State Waste Management Agency raised the alarm. It was learned that the official had heard the voice of a woman calling for help from the canal. A suspected kidnapper who fled from the canal was caught by a mob and set ablaze before the arrival of the police.
That has gone inside. They went inside the place. They couldn't see anybody there. They went to the other side, the soldiers. They don't see anybody there. Then while that one was happening, the DPO was around then. Is the Alakoko DPO. It was one who told them to go inside, and they couldn't be able to find anybody. That is what we are fighting for. They began to beat us. The soldiers. Nothing happened. Nothing happened. He went inside and he came. This is the soldier. See him. You can interrogate him. He was the one who went inside there and nothing happened to him. See him there. You can video him. That's the soldier that went inside and nothing happened. So that's it.
Dismissed policemen arraigned for burgling former President Goodluck Jonathan's home. We have details of that story and others after this break. Abuja home of former President Goodluck Jonathan has now resulted into a lawsuit filed by the FCT Police Command against one Musa, the dismissed police sergeant said to have engaged in the said act. The suspect said to be one of the policemen who allegedly stole household items and attire at the house belonging to the ex-president was this Tuesday arraigned before an Abuja magistrate court. The dismissed officers, who were guarding the ex-president's former residence, had allegedly stolen 6 television sets, fridges, air conditioners, Ijo attire, and designer suits, which they allegedly sold to traders at the Bankere second-hand market in Gwarinpa in Nigeria's federal capital. Following his arraignment on Tuesday, the suspect, who gave a not guilty plea, was granted bail in the sum of 7 million naira by Magistrate Mabel Shegun, who noted that the law was clear about a citizen's right to personal liberty.
Yeah, we are carrying on with the trial. At least the accused person is not going home today. He will be remanded in prison.
Yeah, it's very apparent. It's fundamental. The Constitution guarantees the right to bail.
Meanwhile, the matter has been adjourned till October 3rd, 2017 for commencement of trial. The Ondo State Police Command says it has arrested apprehended herdsmen who allegedly killed a farmer simply identified as Orisomi in Ore while trying to prevent their cows from grazing on his farm. The police public relations officer Femi Joseph said the herdsmen are presently in the custody of the police and investigations have commenced on the matter.
To bring about an holistic approach to this constant or lingering feud, we will continue to make arrest of anybody that steps on the law.
In another development, the police spokesman says the command has apprehended 6 key members of 3 different cult groups in the state.
Slot against cultism. Just this morning we made some arrests of suspects, cultists, who confess to various escapades in the heart of cultism.
Anambra State is next, whereas investigation into the killings of innocent worshippers at St. Philip Catholic Church, Zobolu, continues. Chairman Ekuzigo local government, Elena Okeke, says contrary to widely accepted view that the incident was as a result of feud between 2 drug lords, the unfortunate incident was a terror attack and security operatives should beam the investigation on herdsmen and other terror groups.
The killing, I continue to say, I call it a terror attack because none of the church, they don't have any security. If it has happened that maybe they try to stop the men who were coming into the church, it will be a different thing.
However, the Miyetti Alakatu Breeders Association of Nigeria, Chairman, Anambra State, Alhaji Gidado Sidiki, speaking while commiserating with families of the deceased and those injured, condemned the act while maintaining the no basis or call for herdsmen to attack the community when there's never been any crisis between them.
It's condemnable. We condemn the act because the people that have done this are very wicked people. But I want to assure the world that our people are not inexorable. So there's no how they can come and perpetrate such acts.
Meanwhile, in a telephone conversation with our correspondent, the police commissioner again reiterates his earlier stance that the incident is an isolated one and not a terrorist attack, as claimed by the local government chairman. Meanwhile, the people of Zubuli in Ikusigo local government area of Anambra State are yet to overcome the shock of the last Sunday church killing. A visit to the community by Galaxy News crew shows how deserted the place is. Some of them have left their homes to neighboring towns for fear of the unknown. Though the church where the ugly incident occurred have been sealed and the Reverend Father withdrawn, members and clergy of the Catholic Diocese of Nnewi have sought divine intervention to expose the perpetrators of the dastardly act. In a prayer organized by the Archbishop of the Diocese, Most Reverend Hilary Okeke, at the old building of the St. Philip Parish, the exposure of the evildoers will stop in their requests.
We have come here to turn to God in confidence and in trust for the dead, so that the dead will have eternal rest, for the wounded, that they may have healing, for the parents and the families, that they may be consoled and helped in every way.
Our next report is from Osun State, where the acting president Yemi Osinbajo and other notable bigwigs in the ruling All Progressives Congress on Tuesday stormed Ilesha for the 8th day fidal prayer for the late mother of the state governor Rauf Aregbesola, late Saratu Aregbesola. Professor Yemi Osinbajo arrived in Ilesha in company of the Yola State Governor Abiola Ajimobi and his counterpart from Ekiti State, Ayodele Fayose. In a sermon at the occasion, an Islamic scholar, the chief imam of the Federal Polytechnic Ede, Sheikh Taufik Abdulhamad, advised Nigerian leaders to see the position as temporary.
The position you are occupying today is just for a while. But what Allah will ask you is the benefit you are able to give to people while occupying that position. And that is why we must see leadership as a privilege to better the life of others.
Ekiti State Governor and the former chairman of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, Neil Rabadu, also made comments.
Met Mama, but because the product of Mama, which is Aregbesola himself, is enough to tell of the background and the past. So Mama should rest in peace.
We've come to pray with him. May Allah give her Al-Jannah Firdausi. May Allah forgive her. And may Allah continue to bless whatever that she has left behind.
The fidal prayer was attended by some 7 and past governors, as well as other dignitaries. Featured special prayers for the repose of the soul of Saratu Aregbesola. You're watching Galaxy Television News. We'll take another break now and we'll be back with more stories. Stay with us. Welcome back. The River State House of Assembly has screened and confirmed 14 commissioners nominees for appointment into the State Executive Council. The 14 nominees who were screened on the floor of the House were subsequently confirmed after a majority of the lawmakers voted in favor of their confirmation. Speaking shortly after the confirmation, Speaker of the House, Ikonyi Bani, expressed satisfaction in the ability of the commissioner designates to discharge their duties effectively.
By the provision of this section of the Constitution, Mr. Speaker, His Excellency has written to us, and of course the number of special advices that His Excellency wants us to approve.
Nominees screened for appointment as commissioners and members
of Rivers State Executive Council are hereby confirmed by this House.
The House also approved the appointment of 23 special advisors as requested by the State Governor. Sitting was adjourned to Thursday, 17th of August, 2017. Media practitioners in Nigeria have been charged on the need for objectivity, fairness, and accuracy in information dissemination for sustainable development in the country. Ekiti State Governor Ayodele Fayose and his counterpart in Oyo State, Abiola Ajimobi, while speaking in Ibadan at the opening session of an information summit organized by the State Minister of Information, Culture and Tourism, maintained that the roles of the media in national development are crucial.
Thing I would advise or I would suggest is for you to look inwards. You can only lead by example. Whatever you are selling to us, whatever you are selling to the public, as people in this profession, you have to live it by example.
In his remark, Governor Abiola Ajimobi enjoined journalists and other practitioners to make objectivity the watchword, and that falsehood should be disregarded while truth should be upheld, no matter the situation.
Find out what you don't know when you engage people in public service and you engage various stakeholders openly, honestly, and without prejudice.
Earlier, the Commissioner for Information, Culture and Tourism in the state, Toye Arologun, said the summit was organized to ensure interaction among media practitioners on the need to uphold the integrity of the profession.
Anything that is not going to be possible, we'll state it out clearly before we leave. But more importantly, there's going to be better communication between government and the media, and ultimately the people of Oyo State. Government is going to make the process easier. Government is going to make it less cumbersome so that our people will know a lot more about what government is doing. And you know, the media is the bridge. That's why we need to come together at a time like this and agree on certain parameters.
The Nation Summit, according to the Oyo State Minister of Information, Culture and Tourism, is to afford stakeholders in the media industry an opportunity to focus on improving and strengthening the information machinery of government. Residents of Obafe community in Obafemi Owode local government area of Ogun State have staged a peaceful protest at the Ogun State House of Assembly on Tuesday to demand for the removal of the traditional ruler of the community, Obataofik Olabi, due to a ceaseless act of acquiring people's lands and annexation of neighboring communities. They allege that the traditional ruler has been selling people's farmland indiscriminately without the awareness of the concerned families and has been using thugs to attack anyone that challenges him for encroachment.
It is, and the people are demanding that they don't want all these SSCs again. The people have come out after enduring several pains, after enduring several acts of terrorism, invasion, intrusion on their properties. They are even suspected as a suspicious attempt of kidnapping.
While receiving the petition on behalf of the Ogun State House of Assembly, Honorable Tunde Sanusi, representing the Obafemi Owode constituency, assured the protesters that the House will look into the complaints and find a lasting solution.
Complaints that you have brought forward, definitely this will be looked into. According to your spokesman, he said you already written a petition. So I will collect the petition from him, and this will be handed over to the House, and the matter will be looked into. So
Delta State is next now, where Governor Ifeanyi Okowa has described the incidents relating to the delay in the kickoff of the Maritime University in Baramatu Kingdom as an unfortunate situation that needs urgent attention. He made the remarks at the Exco Chambers Government House Annex in Warri while receiving the House of Representatives Committee on Maritime Safety, Education and Administration, who paid him a visit after visiting the institution take-off campus.
very unfortunate that somehow along the line there were some misconceptions as if nothing was on ground, and certain comments were made that led us to where we are at the moment.
He stressed that the Maritime University will help fast-track infrastructural development in the coastal communities.
Ensure that the university gets started. There is no doubt that the university is sited in an area that's being to service a lot of people, very, very difficult terrain.
Your Excellency, we want to assure you that this committee is going to do a very diligent work. We are passionate about making the Maritime University a crucial.
Recall that the job pressure groups in the region had threatened hostilities should the institution fail to kick off by September. Meanwhile, it is resolved to ensure the students in the state acquire skills to complement their university education. The Delta State Governor, Dr. Ifeanyi Okowa, has advised students on the need for skill acquisition. He gave the advice while empowering 200 students from his constituency of Ika South.
To also let our students know, you are in the University of Polytechnic or College of Education. It is for you to have an experience and exposure.
Okowa said the only way the students can show appreciation is to come out in good grades, as the council chairman warned against frivolities.
Thank you. It's to ensure that you study hard and ensure that you come out with good results. That is the only way you can say thank you to him. We're not giving you this scholarship to go and just go to beer parlors with your girlfriends. We are giving you to assist your parents, because if you are able to pay your school fees, then your parents can provide money for either your accommodation or your feeding.
The high point of the empowerment program was the presentation of a 100,000 naira check to each of the students, with a promise to start the second phase of the program next year. Business news is next. Stay with us.
Welcome to Business News. The Comptroller General of the Nigerian Customs Service, Colonel Hamid Ali, Tuesday in Lagos, briefed the press on recent seizures made by the command, totaling 2.98 billion naira. Among the seizures are 37 assorted vehicles with a duty-paid value of 1.37 billion naira. This, the CGC described as unpatriotic.
Because there's no way containers would leave the port under false declaration and gets on its way until any of these defense layers intercept it. No reason. But because we connive, we need to also clean our own house.
While calling on the general public to continue to support the anti-smuggling crusade of the service, Colonel Ali described the attitude of some clearing agents as not only a disservice to the country, but an outright robbery on well-meaning importers.
And this happens to so many importers. I have seen so many importers cheated. They will be given the correct value, they will be given the correct duty, and when they give the money, our own agents will go and duplicate that paper, change it, give it another name, and give it another consignment.
Items seized include 12,081 bags of foreign parboiled rice, 135 cartons of frozen products, 130 parcels of Indian hemp, and 2,736 pieces of used tires and household equipment. Meanwhile, federal government say 27 key industries and products included in the revised list of pioneer status incentives for prospective investors will soon benefit from tax break. The Minister of Industry, Trade and Investment, Okechukwu Enelama, said this on Tuesday while announcing the lifting of administrative suspension on processing pioneer status incentives. The minister said that some of the benefits of the pioneer status include tax relief.
Says that it is true that the reason why the pioneer status incentive was suspended was there was both perceived and real abuse. And the reason why we've taken a number of weeks and months to review the process, engage widely in consultation with both the private sector, tax experts, and the relevant MDAs, ministries, departments, and agencies of government, is to understand the nature of the things that went wrong and to correct them.
Some of the industries to benefit from this pioneer status incentives are mining, coal processing and preservation, poultry products. Others include manufacturers of starch products, cocoa processing, animal feeds processing, and leather production, among others. Still in business, Ogun State government has reacted to the allegation that its proposal for a $350 million loan from the World Bank has been rejected by the House of Representatives Committee on Loans, Aid, Debt Management. The government claimed that the approval of foreign loan proposal usually takes a process and that the state is still following the process in order to access the loan and secure the future of the state. Speaking to journalists after the State Economic Team meeting in Abeokuta, the Commissioner for Budget and Planning, Aderele Adeshina, says the World Bank is interested in states that has demonstrated capability of repayment and track records of ease of doing business.
It was not a rejection. We had a meeting with a committee who sought to have further discussions with us subsequently. We explained that the engagement with the World Bank, it does not happen in one day. It's a process.
What that means is that we now begin the process. We can't get that money immediately, and you're not going to get the $350 million. The best this administration can get before we leave in 2019 is about 20-25% max of that money.
Is that politics should also be taken out of social tokenism. Okay? If we want the Ogun State that we all dream of, and we want to sustain that IGR, you need to massively invest in infrastructure.
The loan has 5 years moratorium and 2% interest rate with repayment for 25 years.